Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Hoop Talk, the podcast. Today we got a special episode. We're going to have ourselves a nice heated debate. We're actually going to debate the top 10 point guards of all time. Yes, sir. We have a special guest today. Whenever he joins, we'll add him to the panel. But for right now, we're going to get on with it, man. If you're here, tapped in, hit that subscribe button. Let us know that you're here with a little comment, maybe a little like, whatever it takes to engage and support and help us grow. Let's get right into it. Today, we're not going to start with NBA talk. Today, we're actually going to start with some college basketball talk, ladies and gentlemen. We're not going to have any crazy debates. We're just going to do a small little short recap of what's happened so far in March Madness. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to keep up. I believe the first games for the round of 64 was 2 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. Let me pull it up right now.
Is there some random dude in March that just shows up out of nowhere and ruins kids' dreams, and then he goes back to being like a tax accountant or something afterwards?
Thursday, March 20th was the
That's
first
a lot of the
day.
players on these college teams now.
Yeah.
Wait, was this the first day? It was, right? Yeah, pretty sure this was the first day. All right, so let's go through a recap of all the games for Thursday. Let's talk about NC Wilmington losing to Texas Tech. That is a 3-14. That was easy guess for the bettors. However, some of these were easy guesses and did not work out in the bettors' favor at all. Number 5, Michigan beat number 12 UC San Diego. Number 2, St. John's beat number 15 Nebraska Omaha. Number 7, UCLA demolished number 10 Utah State. First upset on our list today, number 11 Drake beat number 6 Missouri by 10, already ruining some brackets.
OVOXO.
I'm not a huge
Ruining most brackets.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan.
Everybody's.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of either team, so I don't have much to say. But just to add it to our recap, of course. Number 4, Texas A&M beat number 13 Yale, which I believe was that where Jeremy Lin went, or did he go to Harvard?
Harvard.
Wow, close enough. Another upset, not as crazy of an upset, but still an upset. Number 10 Arkansas defeated number 7 Kansas. Which actually brings me to my first topic of the day, but I get these coaches.
Too.
That's what it was. Yeah, I get the coaches confused, but you just clarified it for me. There you go. John Calipari, former head coach of Kentucky, is now the head coach of Arkansas, and he just led Arkansas to an upset win versus Kansas. How do you guys feel about Calipari? I know maybe you don't follow college basketball as much, but he is a big name in the college basketball sports world. So how do you guys feel about Calipari?
Of all time.
One
of the best recruiters of all time.
Yes, indeed.
I think, yeah. I think he's got a lot of NBA talent right now who's still in the NBA, makes noise. I'm pretty sure AD is one of his guys. John Wall, D Book, a lot of players that came from that school who are still like, impact players. Boogie,
Fox, there's a lot.
The list goes on, and I do know a lot about Calipari because at one point I was a big Kentucky fan. Well, more so of like what they had going on at the time. I wasn't a fan of the team, just the hype they had. And he had that program at one time as one like must-see TV. I think Kentucky was almost Cat's team. I think it's the team that ended up winning, but Kentucky's team in general, they've always had these great, amazing teams that just pan out to be at least two or three of those players. The seasons that he has these players, top 10 players in the draft as well. So that's another thing. So yeah, definitely.
Even better than Duke if you really compare the two. When you consider the talent in the NBA and the championships that they won.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
being a Duke fan,
sure.
that is hard to say. But yes, I'd say Kentucky has spawned much greater talent in the NBA. Duke is now catching up. Duke has had a large influx of talent develop in the NBA. But for a long period of time, a lot of Duke players were turning into role players, like Sean Battier, Lil Dang. Elton Brand, J.J. Redick, they never really developed into superstars in the league. I think, somebody like Elton Brand is probably the highest caliber player I can think of.
They're
then we got Kyrie
players.
Irving. Unfortunately, we went through a drought after Kyrie Irving. There was a couple of years where it went back to normal again, and players were turning into role players or unsuccessful potential, I guess you could say. You know, Jabari Parkers, the Jaleel Okafors, Justice Winslow's. Very unsuccessful, unfortunately.
Kyle Singlers. The list goes on.
But recent years have spawned some superstars coming from the Duke University line of basketball talent. Whether Jason Tatum's, Brandon Ingram's, Zion Williamson's, even some lesser known
R.J.
players
Barrett,
like Mark Williams, and Derek Lively have all been very successful. So R.J. Barrett, yeah. So Kentucky definitely has beat us for the most part, but I think Duke is finally catching up when it comes to NBA talent. But this is about Arkansas. Shout out to Arkansas for completing the upset, rightfully so. John Calipari, like Tyler said, one of the greatest coaches of all time, just in general. You know what I mean? One of the best recruiters of all time. He probably got plenty of talent. Again, I'm not a huge, I'm not hugely aware of what Arkansas got going on. Maybe I should have done my research before popping up to the podcast, but I would assume he definitely had the recruiting class much better than it was in prior years.
Yeah, he took all those players and flipped all those players from Kentucky. They all went to Arkansas. Like, he had the same class that he was going to Kentucky with that year.
He was just with Kentucky last year, so this is his first year with the new school, and immediately takes them to a round of 32, completing an upset.
Impressive.
10-7 upset isn't like the craziest upset. That's the more reasonable upset, but still an upset nonetheless.
Because there's some interesting ones.
Yeah. And then we got number 2 Tennessee defeated number 15 Wofford. Number 8 Gonzaga defeated number 9 Georgia. We would expect that to be a closer game. It was not. It was a 21-point win by Gonzaga. Number 6 BYU defeated number 11 VCU. Number 12. This is another upset alert. Number 12, McNeese State, which is the one I want to talk about.
Yeah, that's my favorite team right now.
Defeat number 5, Clemson. McNeese State is super interesting, man. Their Amir Khan, I know his name off the top of my head. I don't know a single player on that team. I don't know a single player on that team, but I know Amir Khan, man. Amir Khan is an internet sensation, and shout out to him, man. Did you see the cheerleaders? Did you see the cheerleaders?
The socks?
The socks? Yeah. Bro, that's crazy. For those of you who don't know.
His interview with the players? Like, they were interviewing him and the players were in the background with his socks in his hand and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. For those of you who don't know, McNeese State has I believe he's like a team manager, like a student manager, I believe, something like that. And he has taken the internet by storm. Primarily started with his tunnel intros that he was doing with the teams, bumping some hip hop music, some street music. Some street music.
YB.
Yeah, he was bumping the hardcore stuff. So shout out to him for putting that music on, and shout out to the school for promoting it so heavily, considering the language chosen in those songs. But he got popular off of that, and as time developed, he's developed just an internet popularity with different things. The cheerleaders were wearing socks with his face on it. He has NIL deals. He has 3 NIL deals.
I was about to say that. He's the first one at that school to ever have one.
He makes more money than the players. That is outrageous to me. He has a deal. Off the top of my head, I remember. Actually, I don't remember them.
Buffalo Wild Wings, Tick Pick, and Insomnia Cookies.
Yeah, that's the one I was trying to remember.
Fire.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. Shout out to Amir Khan. It's crazy to me. I don't know a single player on that team, but that name pops out immediately. I know Amir Khan. That's crazy to me.
Yeah. I know his face. If I saw him in the crowd, I know who he is.
No, facts, bro.
Yeah, that's why I love March Madness, man. March Madness is like one of those like times of the year where like anybody can get like an instant internet sensation and like catch fire and make millions of money, like millions of dollars doing this. Like, I think one year we had a school in Florida. It was like they changed the whole school. It was FGCU, Florida Gulf Coast, and they changed it to Dunk City that year. And it was just like that was the sensation of the like. That's why I like enjoy this, bro, because like it's so influential. Like those kids from that like 17 to like 20, like 3, like they kind of influence this time of the year and the energy and just that spring that we get from the youth, bro. That's why I love this time of the year, man. It's fun, man. It's a lot of fun.
So nice, bro. Every year we get some random stories, some random fairy tale.
No, facts. You remember the shooter from last year? And he started getting all the NIL deals? I forget his name.
Hickey or whatever?
I can't remember his
name.
He
had a crazy name. Yeah, he had a crazy ass name.
With the white guy with the brown hair?
Yeah. I think he was for like a blue team or something.
Real quick. I don't know if we got time. What's your guys' favorite March Madness moment ever?
Loyola making it to the final 6, I think, or final 8. I forget which one.
The Jahlil Okafor Duke team winning a championship was my favorite. That game versus Wisconsin was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Tyus Jones clutched up and hit some incredible buckets. Super exciting game. One of my favorite basketball games in history. I probably rank that as one of my top 5 favorite games that I've ever watched. Not highlights, but I actually was there sitting down watching it. Not in person, of course, but on the TV.
You were there.
Yeah. But shout out to McNeese State for pulling it off. Oh, go ahead.
Really quick, Loyola, they got number 8. They got number 11, number 8, number 10 in like 4 years. And then the last time that they even made it to the tournament was 1985.
Wow. St. John's, too. St. John's is going crazy. Rick Pitino's having a resurgence there. Yeah.
It's going to be on the list as well. Once again, shout out to McNeese State for pulling that off, ruining everybody's bracket, taking Clemson out of the picture. Then we have number 1 Auburn defeats number 16 Alabama State. Number 1 Houston defeats number 16 SIU Edwardsville, whatever. Number 3, what is this? Oh, Wisconsin, speak of the devil, defeats number 14 Montana. Number 4 Purdue defeated number 13 High Point. And number 9 Creighton defeats number 8 Louisville.
Also, I think we could say this as well. Purdue is up 20 right now on McNeese. So.
Oh, really?
Unfortunately, this might be the last time that we see Amir Khan. Unless they go back, then we might see him a lot more.
What time? How much
that
time
would be the biggest.
It is the first with a minute left.
Okay. Anything is possible.
Yeah. Anything over 10 minutes in the second half. Yeah, anything over 10 minutes in the second half is possible in college.
Yesterday was day 2 of the round of 64. We have number 1 Duke, title favorites this year by Vegas odds, defeats number 16 Mount St. Mary's by a very significant amount. Shout out my Blue Devils. Number 5 Oregon defeats number 12 Liberty. Number 2 Michigan State defeats number 15 Bryant. Number 6 Illinois defeats number 11 Xavier. Number 8 Connecticut defeats number 9 Oklahoma. Number 4 Arizona defeats 13 Akron. Number 10 New Mexico pulls off the upset versus number 7 Marquette. That was Dwayne Wade's school, right?
And Jimmy Butler's, yep.
Jimmy Butler, yeah. Number 3 Kentucky defeats number 14 Troy. Excuse me. Number 1 Florida, shout out to the Gators, defeats number 16 Norfolk State. Number 4 Maryland defeats number 13 Grand Canyon. Didn't even know they had a school. Number 6 Ole Miss defeats number 11 UNC. Fuck UNC. Perfect. Number 7 St. Mary's, which is what we just discussed. Oh no, St. John's. I lied. St. John's. Number 7 St. Mary's defeats number 10 Vanderbilt. Number 5. Oh no, upset. My bad. Another upset. Number 12 Colorado State defeats number 5 Memphis. Penny Hardaway's school.
2-12.
Yeah, it looks like so it. Number 3 Iowa State defeats number 14 Lipscomb. Number 2 Alabama defeats number 15 Robert Morris. And number 9 Baylor defeats number 8 Mississippi State. I guess St. John's did not make the tournament. I lied. I guess we were not going to talk about them. It makes sense.
They did.
They did?
They did.
St. John's?
Yeah. Arkansas and St. John's are playing
today. They beat Omaha.
Yeah. Where is that? Did I skip a day?
Arkansas and St. John's play tonight.
Or did I just forget that I mentioned them?
I thought it was the first day.
I forgot. You're right. St. John's. I forgot that I mentioned them. Yeah, St. John's, which was the other school that I wanted to stop at. Okay, that was my bad. They were the second school that I mentioned. I remember reading Omaha and being confused at their name. Yeah, St. John actually won their first Big East title in 25 years. So they won their conference tournament. Got ranked number 2 within their region or their division. That is Rick Pitino. Rick Pitino is now the
Yeah,
head coach at St. John's.
elite.
He was head coach at Iona University for about 3 years, but he's most known for his time at Louisville. That's what he's primarily recognized for. Another elite coach taking a less fortunate team to success right there, but they were ranked number 2, so they definitely had a phenomenal season overall. Um, Arkansas, didn't have as great of a season, but regardless, still 2 teams that were able to pull off success stories here. You said they're playing right now, St. John's.
No.
Are they
Arkansas
going to
and
play?
St. John's play tonight.
They're going to play
I think they
tonight.
play.
Oh, look at that! What a coincidence.
Actually,
That's crazy.
they're going to play
No,
right
no.
after we're done.
Yeah, like
240.
I actually
Yeah.
read about this morning. It's actually crazy because they've actually played each other, these 2 coaches, 3 times in the past already. Dating back, I think, to the earliest is 1996, around there, or 1995. I'm pretty sure 1998, around that time. But yeah, they have a history against each other, and they kind of have 2 teams that are built the same. Older kids, they're like 24, 25, 26-year-old kids, defense, and it's going to be a good game. I'm definitely tuning into that. And I don't really watch a lot of ball, but that's going to be pretty dope to watch a chess match like that.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna watch that. That's cool. I didn't know they were playing. I'm gonna try and tune into that. But that is the recap of March Madness so far. The round of 32 is currently going on today, Saturday. We're potting a little bit later or a different day than usual, just because schedules did not align this week. But next up, I have some women's basketball on the table here, and our resident women's basketball expert is gonna have some things to say, I'm sure. But
This title will
Team
never be
Rose,
Cool.
forgive me, I'm not entirely sure what the full name of the teams are, but all I know is that there are Team Rose or whatever it's called. They
It's
won
Team
the first.
Rose versus the Vinyl.
Yeah, Team Rose, which is Angel Reese's team, won the first ever Unrivaled championship. It's Angel Reese and Chelsea Gray, right?
It's Angel Reese, Chelsea Gray, Lexi Hull, Collier Copper. I think Heideman's on that team too. And
That's a
there's
great
somebody
team.
else. That team was stacked, but Angel and Collier were both injured, so they didn't play in the last 2 games. I mean,
Oh,
Collier hasn't played in a
The
little
championship
while.
or regular season?
Collier missed a lot of the regular season. She had an injury, and then Angel only just got injured 2 or 3 games ago. She re-injured her hand that she injured in the season.
So she didn't play in the championship, is what you're saying?
The championship or the semifinal.
Oh, so Chelsea Gray.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see Chelsea Gray was having some phenomenal games. I
She
think
went off, bro.
I think she
She
dropped
went
like a
off.
36 bomb or something recently.
Yeah, she was untouchable. She was unguardable. And it's
out.
really good because she had a weak season before, so this is going to be perfect for her.
She's the one they call the point guard, right? Or is that a different?
Yeah.
She's the one, yeah. Shout out to her. I'm still learning. I apologize to our listeners. I'm still learning, but I'm getting there. I'm definitely getting there. You see, I can build connections now. But
Dude, way
speaking of
better than
Angel
me.
Reese, Angel Reese takes home the Unrivaled Defensive Player of the Year. Tyler, what is your take?
That's
Do you
fire.
think that was deserving, or do you believe
So-
another deserved it more?
Angel Reese was a great defender, but I would still give that to Napheesa. But I think, because Napheesa went home with another award, which we'll talk about in a moment, they did give it up to someone who I would consider the runner-up. I do think Angel deserves to be up there in that ranking. I think she deserves to be in the conversation. My vote would have been Fee. But she's the best rebounder without a doubt. She's very, very good at getting steals. She's great with using her hands. Great with deflections. Great with blocks. So I think that she's worthy of it. But
Nice. Yeah,
Fee just was a little better.
I have heard a lot about Angel Reese's defense and her impact on the defensive end throughout this Unrivaled season. It's been all over social media, so definitely makes sense. Fees did win Defensive Player of the Year in the WNBA, did she not?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that makes sense as well. But the Fees herself, Napheesa Collier, actually brought home the Unrivaled MVP. She's the first ever Unrivaled MVP. She was second place MVP voting this year for WNBA. Was she not? Am I getting that right?
She's second place MVP voting, and she won the one-on-one contest that they had for Unrivaled.
Oh, did she really? Oh,
That's
nice.
crazy. She's
So
on a run right now.
she's had one hell of a year. She's got the Unrivaled MVP, WNBA Defensive Player of the Year, Unrivaled 1v1 champ as well. She's having one hell of a year.
She also runs the league. Keep that in mind. She started the league.
Yeah, I forgot about that. You are right. I did know that. I did know that. I forgot. Yeah, that's dope.
So she not only started this, she finished it off the way that I think you should. They didn't win, of course, but I mean, you won the MVP. You won the one-on-one contest. Like, you kind of did everything that you could have done.
Yeah, she like made her own little like GM league damn near with her friends. That's crazy.
Yeah, and there's no sneaky business going on because, I mean, at the end of the day, she was the runner-up for MVP in the WNBA. So it's very obvious that she is an elite player.
It translates.
There's no favoritism here. Exactly. Yeah, it translates.
The draft was also as fair as it gets. That draft was the coolest idea. Nobody knew who was going to be on what team. Nobody had anything.
Yeah, that's cool. Unrivaled is definitely a great concept. I think it would be cool to be adopted. At the well, I mean, I don't know how the Big Three does it, so I guess I can't really say. But they only do half court. I do know that. I'm not entirely sure how their draft works either. So, and this
they
is
do
their
half
first.
court because
what?
Oh, go ahead. Oh, because they're older. Everybody's like an older player, retired NBA
that
player.
makes sense.
It's not like the women NBA where these women
That's
are in their prime.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's why the
Rivals
Rivals is bigger than the Big Three right now, anyways, because we're getting these players in their prime versus like playing pretty much like pickup basketball.
I feel like if you did a smaller court though, like it doesn't have to be 94 feet. Like you could
because that's what Unrivaled did. Unrivaled is only 74 feet, I think, or 73.
Yeah, exactly. There you go, bro. What? They can handle that.
But everything that Unrivaled did was a good idea.
That's damn near the Chisholm Center in DeLand. Come on.
Yeah, imagine LeBron though in the Chisholm Center. He's gonna hit something on his way down after a dunk. Though.
Well, we're not talking about the Big Three. No, I'm talking about the Big Three.
No,
we're talking about LeBron James. What the?
Those guys,
he needs to be. He can run 94 feet. We can see that. That's fine.
No, I'm saying like okay, a prime player in a league like that though, with that court that small, that would be scary for me.
But I'm talking about the Big Three. They don't have prime players. These guys are in their 40s.
Yeah. My bad. I didn't know you were talking about the Big Three. Sorry about that.
Yeah, they can definitely do 74 feet. Come on, they can handle that. Come on.
Those guys are old. Bro. Like, some of those guys are pushing 50.
Yeah, then we need to find younger players. We need to find more recently retired guys. We can find more recent, and plus the Big Three is getting younger. But either way, we can make that a topic for next week. I don't want to take away anything from the women's thing, but I do like the concept that they have. What I was going to say to finish off is I want to make a much stronger effort next year to watch games. I believe Orlando is making efforts to start a women's team in the WNBA as well, right? That hasn't gone anywhere yet. Am I right?
Of course. You forgot about it.
What did I forget about?
No, I'm saying Orlando. Orlando doesn't remember that about starting the WNBA team.
Oh.
I've never even heard of that before. I never even heard of that.
See? You see?
I didn't even know that was going on. That's crazy. I did not know Orlando was trying to do
that. Did they start it or they're still working on it?
Oh, I misunderstood everything. I thought you were saying... I thought you were saying...
Yeah.
I thought we were joking around with him.
Oh, no.
I didn't realize we were not joking around with him.
Oh, no. I'm talking about Orlando, the city in Florida.
No, Orlando's not going to get a team. We're not going to get a team.
Okay.
Detroit is most likely getting one.
But they are working on it, aren't they? Or is that just a rumor?
It's not happening.
No?
We barely get people to come to the Magic
at
game when
least
they're
for
good.
the next 5 years. We have an idea for the next 5 years what teams are going to be, and Orlando's not one of them. Boston is more likely than Orlando, which I mean
that would actually be dope. That would be dope.
Boston does have more money.
Well, we'll finish off with our NBA talk before we get into our heated debates. Haven't heard from our good friend Asante just yet, so we might have to just start the debate without him. But just some basic topics to discuss, nothing to prompt too much discussion here. But we had the Jazz, something interesting that I found recently on X, aka Twitter, were fined $100,000 for tanking. They violated the rules on player availability. They did not make Lauri Markkanen available for multiple games, which he was medically cleared to play. So they got fined $100K for tanking. I do believe, this is the only thing I have to say about it, I do believe if a team is legitimately caught tanking, or at least, allegedly they are tanking and there's a penalty needed, I believe their draft stock should be impacted, not their bank. I genuinely believe that.
I agree. I think the first attempt should be a second round pick on, and then the first attempt second round pick, the second attempt first round pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if taking away a first round pick is okay. That's a little bit much. That's pretty drastic. I think for tanking, at least, for other things, I do believe taking away your first round pick is good. I believe this year, or last draft, 2 teams had their first round pick taken away from them, which is why it was only 58 draft picks instead of 60. But I don't think this is drastic enough for that. I would say their draft stock should be going down. So when the season is over, if they finish with the, let's say, 6 best odds, then they should be dropped down to like 8, like percentage-wise. I think that's how it should work.
I don't think it should be first round pick at all.
But I think
or if anything, at the end of the draft.
Yeah, I got something. I like Nas's idea, but I don't think they should go down a couple, because then some teams will benefit from that. I think they should just go all the way down to whoever was 32nd, now they're 31st, and everybody's pushed up one. So whoever's at 6, you go down to the 36, and then third or whatever the last pick is, and push one up from there. I think that would be a good idea. So yeah, you still got a first round pick, but it's like the last pick of the first round.
But then that's still bringing everybody else up. It's the same thing. Everybody else will still come up. With my idea, less teams will benefit from it. I don't think every single team in the draft should be benefiting from one person's mistake.
I think every team should benefit from that team tanking. I do believe so. Because
yeah,
they are
I like that.
Every team over.
Did we lose Tyler? Can you guys hear me?
Parity is screwing the league over. I absolutely think that they should generally be punished, like hard. Like I really do mean that.
I can see that.
It just sucks for teams like that, because what are they playing for? You know what I'm saying? What are you playing your Porsche? Why are you bringing your Porsche out to play these trash, muddy games that don't matter nothing? That's the only thing that sucks.
Yeah.
I think we could all agree at the very least that $100K for a million, if not billion-dollar organization is not enough. That's for sure.
Nothing.
I'm gonna do that again. Now I know that to do this, the fee is $100,000. That's the fee. That's not a fine.
It probably goes up though. That's how most fees in the NBA work. After multiple offenses, it goes up.
But I'm saying, like, in general, like, when you start small like that, that's a fee to me. That's the price I just got to pay to break the rules. That's how
facts.
That's how much money they got.
They're going to take one boggle night away, and we're good. One bobblehead night away, and we're good.
That's it.
All right. And then another money situation here on the more positive side. Well, I guess it depends on who you are. But the Boston Celtics have recently been sold for $6.1 billion, if I'm not mistaken. It says million on here. That cannot be true.
I definitely did that. That was my mistake.
Yeah, wow. $6.1 billion, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. I have to look it up, but whoever put it on there, if you know, let me know. How much were they bought for originally?
360.
3.6?
Yeah, 360.
360 million?
Yeah.
What? They were bought for 360 million?
Dirt cheap. Yeah.
Remember, not that long ago, teams were worth that much. Like 20 years ago, teams were worth that much.
When did they make that purchase?
I think it was like 2008, 2006, around there.
That's
pretty sure.
I'll tell you right now.
That is
usually it's close around the time that they win championships.
Yeah, so it's 2006, 2008, around there. I'm telling you.
Yeah, 360 million in 2002, and then in July they plan to sell it.
What? That's in 20 years you just flipped your money like crazy. That's insane.
Bro, do you know how much money Michael Jordan made off of the Hornets? Do you know how much he bought them for?
He
bought it for like 30, 40 mil, right? Like his percentage.
No, more than that. I think it was 170, and they're over $3 billion right now.
That's still nothing for Michael Jordan, though. That's still nothing for Michael Jordan. That's crazy.
No, I wouldn't say that, but yeah. That's crazy though. $6.1 billion out of 370. You said 360.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
That's a great come up. And the dude, the guy who bought them also is going to be pretty good money wise. He's a big part of. I think he's the owner of Symphony, like credit cards, the Symphony credit cards you see all the time.
Yeah.
Yes, I think the CEO or the president of that. So he's got money. Hopefully he'll end up being like a bomber. That would be really nice.
So it wasn't bought by a group. It wasn't bought by a group. It was bought by one person.
I think it was bought by a group.
Well, because it's the Symphony or Synchrony telephone group or something.
Yeah, it's always a group. Yeah, well, I wouldn't say always, but primarily tends to be a group. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Usually, Bomber's like the exception.
Because even Jordan bought the Hornets as a group investment. It wasn't like he just coughed up $170 million. Yeah.
Same thing with the Timberwolves right now. That's with the group that they're going through.
Yeah, that's with A-Rod, right?
Yeah. He finally won, right? He's going to get the team finally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
That's dope.
And then we have the Mavs. So another thing that I stumbled upon on X. The Mavs are at risk. I don't know if they still are. This was about a week or two ago that I saw this.
I don't even know if that's real.
It definitely is real. They are at risk of forfeiting games. You are required to enter a game with a minimum of 8 available players to play, medically cleared by the NBA and the team. And because of cap rules and financial rules, they do not have room to continue to sign players without waiving certain players, which they cannot afford to do. Due to the Luka Doncic trade, they cannot afford to just waive some of the players.
That's crazy.
And you know how many active players they currently have that are not injured?
How many?
8.
They are at risk. And then they have one player who is nearing the end of his 2-way contract, and they have one player who just recently began his 2-way contract, so he's a little bit away from finishing it. But once those players finish all their games that they're allowed to play on the 2-way contract, then they will be removed from that equation as well, and that is why they're at risk. So if somebody does not return from injury, in order to not forfeit games, they have no choice but to waive players, buy out players, whatever the case is, and sign somebody in free agency. So,
did you hear what they're doing though?
What?
Anthony Davis, Daniel Gafford, and Derek Lively are all called up to the G League.
I think it's only 2 of them. I believe 2 of them.
No, all 3.
Oh, the report.
That's going to be kind of cool to watch.
I don't expect all of them to play though, but all 3 were just called up. It was announced today. I saw it this morning.
The report I saw was Anthony Davis and PJ Washington, but yeah, I did see that they're putting them in the G League to get them ready.
Wait, what? I thought PJ Washington already came back.
No, I don't think so.
In and out always. He's always injured.
Oh, okay. Because I saw him recently come back. That's why I was like, what the hell?
It could have been one of the bigs. I could be getting the names wrong easily.
Okay.
But let me check. They played the Pistons.
Going crazy.
They beat the Pistons. PJ Washington did play. He had 27 points. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I was about to say. I saw him just play.
They had 9 players. I believe Kai Jones and B. Williams are the two-way players that are at risk of leaving, which would put them at 7 players. I don't know who B. Williams is personally, but I know Kai Jones is one of them. So they're at risk of finishing up their 2-way contracts. I don't believe the Mavs have the rights to sign them because they waited too long. So, yeah, that's why they're at risk, which is why they're probably speeding up the process. I don't think they have any intention or have any desire in forfeiting games. I don't believe they want to be out of the playoffs. I do think they want to compete in the playoffs.
Nika would have to be fired if they had to forfeit games, right? Like, I think you would have to put the blame on him, without a doubt. Like, you can't put him in the front office. They would turn on him, too.
Yeah, it most likely will be blamed on him, and rightfully so. Probably, I would agree. It would have to be. But we have an interesting question here posed to us, and this is going to be our last topic before we get into our arguments of the day. Austin Reaves, is he the best third option in the NBA? Somebody posed this question.
That was me. Look at guys getting active on that list.
Let's
That was
talk
me.
about it, Orlando. Plead your case first.
Uh,
Let's see. Do you think? Do
so
you
this,
think he is?
I think he is. I think he is also top 5 second option too, but we'll do that later. Um, but in
Top
general,
five
like what I've
second.
been, I think
I gotta get that one.
it could be
He's not.
debated. It
He's
could be
not thinking
debated.
of who's a second option in the NBA. He's not thinking it through at
Yeah,
all.
no,
He's
I'm
not.
not. Just I'm just trying to
Go
I'm
ahead.
trying to hype this up,
Top
man.
three options. Come
Hey,
on.
thanks, Nas. Thanks, Nas. I think Nas started to finally understand me. But long story short, the reason I do think he is the third best option is what he's been giving out lately, and when the three have played together, I think he's averaged close to like I think almost 18 points. And this all stemmed from is Austin Reaves better than Peyton Richards with the amount of time that Austin Reaves gets versus the amount of time that Peyton Richards gets. And then I went into my head and I thought about it, and I really thought about it. I was like, "There's no way I can't think of a better like third option who's like the only other person I can think of who's as impactful, but it's not a stats thing is Draymond Green. When it comes to being a third option, so honestly, I really do think that he is the best third option. He fits in with them. He's also facilitate. He can also pass. He can also shoot. He can also create his own shot, which Luka and LeBron thrive off players like that in general. Kyrie Irving, obviously for both Luka and LeBron. Dwayne Wade for LeBron. So in general, I just think he fits them, and I don't think he's going to go anywhere. I think he's there for a really, really long time. I think.
I don't.
I don't know. Oh, go ahead.
I don't.
Actually,
Well, one.
Yeah,
I don't. Okay, my bad. One, I don't believe. Yes, he is better than Peyton Pritchard, and no, Peyton Pritchard is not a third option in the NBA. He's arguably
No. I
56.
know that this was an argument that I heard on a podcast.
Yeah,
That's
he
why
is
I
better
brought
than
it up.
Peyton Pritchard. I love Peyton Pritchard though. He does plenty of phenomenal things that he
Well,
deserves all the
real quick,
credit in the
on the
world.
podcast, they argued if Peyton Pritchard was have the same amount of minutes as Austin Reaves, that he would be more effective than Austin Reaves is right now. Minutes per game wise.
I don't believe so because Peyton Pritchard has a completely different
it'd
role.
be
Austin
similar.
Reaves his role is to be responsible for the offense when Luka or LeBron are sitting down. Previously, when AD or LeBron were sitting down, it was his responsibility to step up his game. When AD sits down, we need you to knock the shots down. We need you to make the difficult shots. We need you to be LeBron's second right-hand man. When LeBron sits down, same thing. We need you to be AD's right-hand man. Now we got Luka. When LeBron is out, we need you to be Luka's right-hand man. When Luka's out, we need you to be LeBron's right-hand man. Peyton Pritchard's not in the position where he needs to be that player for anybody because the totem pole goes pretty high. You know, you got Jason Tatum, you got Jaylen Brown, Kristaps Porzingis, Jrue Holiday, and Derek White. You know what I mean? Like the totem pole goes pretty high. He's pretty low on that list.
Yeah, for his position. Yeah.
He
He's
plays
like the
his role
fourth best player
phenomenally
there.
though. I wouldn't be comfortable saying that he can do more with Austin Reeves' role, just because I don't know if I've ever seen him do that consistently. I've seen him do it for games. I've seen him do it for maybe like a week span where he had a really good week. It's for spurts.
Yeah.
It's like I would be uncomfortable saying that, but I understand the argument, and I would be more than happy to entertain it because I think there's logic there. I do see the logic.
We should definitely
you know what I mean?
we should bring that up on a different because that's something I would love to argue because you can argue his minutes per game versus Austin Reeves is a little better, just because. But also he's playing usually the third or fourth best point guard on whoever's team that's matching up with him as well. So it's just like, you know, it could get what they went through and what the argument was minutes per game. Like the effectiveness of each minute that they're on the court. So they're literally going by a plus and minus scale. They're not really going by like,
but it's different
actual
though. I don't want
situations.
I don't want to digress too much because that's not the original question posed, but it is different though. His role is just completely different. So the effectiveness of what he has to do for the minutes that he's given, he is still playing 28 minutes per game. That's pretty average for a starter who's like a role player. You know what I mean? Like that's not like it's not like he's getting sized on his minutes. He gets a lot of minutes to produce, and he has shoulders to lean on with Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Derek White, Kristaps Porzingis. You know what I mean? It's a completely different story. But back to the original question. of is he the best third option? I'm a Lakers fan here, as you can tell. I don't believe so. I don't believe he is. I think Evan Mobley is a better third option in the NBA as an overall player. If we're just discussing scoring option, then that's a conversation I'd like to have. If we're just discussing overall player, I think Evan Mobley is a more impactful player on the court than Austin
Though, I
Reaves.
don't think so either.
You don't think so?
Score, I don't think Austin Reaves is a better scorer than Michael Bridges.
Yeah, score. It's a conversation to be had. Yeah, but if we're talking score, I think he has more of a fight in him because he is a phenomenal scoring option to have as a third option.
I
But
think
if we're
just a
talking
general offensive
overall,
juggernaut wise of him, like what he does, like he could pass the ball as well, like
but
everything.
if it's just about being a player, a third option on a team, he's not better than Evan Mobley. He's debatably not better than Norman Powell. He's probably not better than Michael Bridges or OG Anunoby. Whoever you think is the third option in New York, pick him. He's not better than either of them. He's not better than Kristaps Porzingis as a third option. I don't think he's better than Derek White as a third option. That could be debated, maybe. Depends on your preference.
That was the closest debate, but I would edge off and say that it's probably White.
Yeah, that's the
Because
closest
of the
one he can get
defense.
to. I think because most third options are probably leagues ahead of Reeves on the defensive end and still produce more offensively. That's why I believe he's not. Is he a phenomenal third option? Yes. Would I care to have some of these other options? A lot of them, not really, because they don't fit what we need. You know what I mean? Like before we had AD, now we have Luca. So yeah, Kristaps makes more sense now. Okay, I get that. But we've had AD for the majority of Austin Rivers' career. So taking that into consideration, I would probably prefer what Austin Reaves does compared to what Kristaps does. Kristaps is a better player. I get that. But Austin Reaves brings to the table what AD and LeBron needed. I would prefer to have him
It's
over
just
other third options like
yeah.
Norman Powell, like probably like Evan Mobley because he's more fitting at the power forward, and I just don't know if that's what we want. But I'm not trying to get too deep into it. I don't think he is one of the best third option in the NBA. I think he doesn't do enough
I agree.
compared to the other third options in the NBA. The other third options do what he does offensively and do far more defensively as well.
The value that Austin Reaves brings, because he's a great player, it's not in his production necessarily. It's his production because of his contract. It's because he's getting paid like $12 to $15 million a year throughout his contract. You're able to add in a lot more pieces that other teams can't. So, like, the production is similar to Peyton Pritchard. It's not going to be exactly the same because they play differently, but they are going to produce a similar amount of offense or defense or what you're looking for. But Austin Reaves makes such little money. Austin Reaves makes the same amount as Alexander Sarr, a first-round pick, a rookie. He's not getting paid his production value yet. And when he does, I don't think people will view Austin Reaves the same way. When he's making 25, 30, 35 million, it's now going to be like, we want you to do more. We want you to be a better defender. But right now, people are kind of overhyping him a little bit, I would say. I don't even think he's in the top 3, top 5 third options.
I gotta disagree with you on that one. I think the only solid one you guys gave me was Evan Mobley. I think everybody else could be debated. I think pretty much because at the end of the day, my only thing, and this is the thing I'm gonna hang my hat on with this, is that like based on the usage percentage of how much he's touching the ball and when he's getting the ball, when he has these two players who are high, ball dominant players, I think that's the impressive part of it. That he's actually pretty effective. Like he's very, very effective when his field goal percentage and things like that. And he's a decent passer. He's good out the pick and roll. But Evan Mobley, I didn't even think about it even running through my head because I think it's Cleveland as a team. But he is a third option. He's behind Darius, I think. And then you would put, what's his name? That was Mitchell over him. I got you, Mitchell over him. But yeah, I think Evan Mobley for sure. Now that when I hear it out, I think he might be the best one because he can give you what Austin gives you on offense when it comes to scoring, and he can still lock up your best player. So that's the one I would definitely. He probably is the best third option now that when we bring him
Now
up like
wait,
that for sure.
before you say that, because you're talking about production, so I want you to think about slotting Michael Bridges into this situation. Now, all he has to do is catch and shoot and play defense. You don't think that might be a little bit more valuable than Austin Reaves? We saw that he could be a 20-point per game scorer if he needs to be on the Nets.
You think he's a way better defender than Austin Reaves?
100%.
Well, yeah, I think.
Oh,
I'm not even going to debate that.
There's like levels to that.
I'm not going to debate that.
Austin Reaves' defense.
He was the number one option on his Nets team and averaged 20 points. I'm not going to debate that. Yeah, I'm not going to debate that. He went to the finals with the Suns. Like, I'm gonna chill. Let me chill. Today's Saturday.
And then Derek White.
I'm chilling.
Derek White used to be a point guard. Remember, Derek White came to the Spurs as a point guard, so he does have playmaking capabilities. He's another person.
But I think Kristaps. What?
Wait, you think Kristaps? Go ahead.
I think Kristaps is our third option when it's like playoff time, for sure.
Well, I think Kristaps is a better player than Austin Reaves.
Yeah.
I think without a doubt.
I think health comes into that one. That's where I kind of just throw a wrench there. It's health, but like I want to harp on this.
I can agree with that, though.
Yeah, the health part, like him being
that would make sense.
is a big thing for me. Yeah,
but he is still a better player. He is still a better player. That's still a fact.
Availability is the best ability, my boy. That's the first thing I learned in basketball.
But he is still a better player. Well, I'm not debating whether.
Yeah, we're just talking about the best third option.
Yeah, I'm not talking about whether I want him on my team. I already said that I would prefer Austin Reaves over a lot of third options because what his skill set brings fits what the Lakers specifically need. So I would prefer Austin Reaves over Michael Bridges. I would prefer that.
They can't be an option if they're not available anyway.
Huh?
They can't be an option if they're not available. If they're the third option, they have to be healthy. Otherwise, they're not the third option.
Let's have a debate within the debate. Who's Boston Celtics' real third option then? When
Kristaps or Derek White.
If we're talking about healthy players, then Kristaps, of course, but because he's not there always, then it would have to be Derek White. But
you guys don't think it would be Drew?
No. I think
just throwing it out.
Right now,
everybody healthy. Drew is the fifth option.
And last season was Kristaps. No, okay. Drew is the sixth option.
Wow.
Yeah, well, probably, yeah. At this point in his career, yeah.
Genuinely. He is.
Which is okay. He's older. He's at a different stage in his career. That's fine.
He's earned that. He's earned that. Yeah, he's earned that.
He's a more energy play defense.
Yeah, and shoot his threes. That's all he has to do. Yeah. The main event time, huh?
Sorry, what did I say? I don't think at the end of the day, I don't believe Austin Reaves is one of the best third options in the league because I don't believe Austin Reaves could produce what he produces on a different team. I think other teams don't need him to do what he does. Because he is pretty much just an offensive threat. He's going to do a lot of things on the offensive end, very little on the defensive end. So a lot of teams that could use a third option, they're not going to be that much better with him. And if he were to become a second option on a team that could afford that, or a first option on a team that's horrendous, I just think he's going to disappear. Nobody's going to talk about him anymore. He's going to get his stats up because he's shooting more, and he's just a great player. But we're no longer going to care. We're going to be like, oh, yeah, well, Austin Reaves is averaging 23, but he's on the Hornets or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, who cares?
He's like a Lou Williams.
I think he's a little better than Lou.
He's very similar to Lou Williams. Yeah, I agree.
Wow.
He really is, Pluto. Like his production lies solely in his offense, and he's usually going to be better with the second unit.
I really hold Lou Williams that's like the best six man. I think he's the best six man ever. So I hold Lou Williams very high.
That's awesome.
That's not a shot to Lou Williams.
Position.
When I said wow, I can't. When I say wow, I just think about I'm trying to picture the comparison. That's all.
It is. I'm a huge Austin Reaves. I'm sorry. I'm a huge Austin Reaves fan, and I think very highly of him. I just think certain people undervalue what he brings to the table. There's people who just don't think he's that good, or that he's, I don't know how else to explain it, but I'll argue against those people because what he does is phenomenal, and not a lot of players in this league can do that. I've seen better players join the Lakers and fumble. You know what I mean? I've seen better players join the Lakers. I've seen better players join LeBron and become lesser. But Austin Reaves is a lesser player who joined LeBron and became more. You know what I mean? Like he
fits him.
I love Austin Reaves, but I'm not gonna overestimate him and say that just because he's phenomenal in the role that he has that he compares to some other third options. There's some phenomenal third options in this NBA. There's some phenomenal talent in this NBA.
Yeah.
There's teams he might be the fifth or sixth option. If you put him on the Celtics, he might be a Peyton Pritchard.
Yeah, just not.
That's where the debate came from. That's where the debate came from.
I don't know if I don't know if defensively he could bring to the table what Peyton Pritchard brings, but offensively 100%. I think he could fill a lot of gaps. He's not the shooter Pritchard is, which is definitely going to be a hit. They love to shoot threes over there, but I don't know. I don't think he is. But
I mean, like if you swap the teams, if you put Austin Reaves on the Celtics and you put Pritchard on the Lakers, they would end up playing a sixth and third man, I would think.
Yeah, I can see that. But we're going into 15 minutes. What do you guys think about making this a short podcast episode and doing our top 10 debates separately as its own separate video?
I'm down.
Cool.
Because we're going on to 50 minutes. If we do our top 10, we're going to argue. I already have plenty of arguments.
It'll be an hour.
I plan on yelling. So let's make this a short podcast episode, post this individually, and Asante's about to join us. We can do our top 10 as its own separate video.
A special Saturday event.
Sounds good to y'all?
Let's do it. Yes, sir.
Yep. All right. Well, the fans were able to engage with us as we debated that amongst each other. Thank you guys for tapping in, man. We've decided to make this a short podcast episode. We appreciate y'all. If you made it this far, hit that subscribe button. Hit that comment section. Let us know if you tapped in this late into the episode. We appreciate y'all for showing love. We're going to go ahead and get ready for our top 10 point guards of all time debate. Hoop Talk out. Deuces.